This will be Mark chapter 4, verse 13, where we're going to start out, and it is part 5. And what I'm going to do here is start off by correcting and making first person as if Jesus is telling the story that he is the sower. Um, I am the sower sowing my words. This here verse here, I don't think that that's something Jesus would rub in their face. It's actually not needed in there. We already had text up here about Jesus telling us, you have witnessed the prophecies of my kingdom from YV, but others are to hear in parables. And that would be that he's saying that others, it's to make them think about what he's being said. These parables, when you see them, it's not everyone can figure them out even today. I've been on a few atheist boards for a long time, but what happens is that when you teach people a verse, they'll come out sidely and say, oh, it's easier for the camel to go through the eye of a needle. And it's kind of like they poke fun at, well, yeah, that's something stupid that's being said. But when I explain to him or them that Jesus is saying that he is the needle and his yes, yes is the eye of the needle, that they can go into heaven. But the point of the needle is no, no, you're not. So you might have just heard that for the first time. These are answers that or these are questions to make people think. And that's what Jesus was doing, was trying to provoke thought through his parables. And try to relate him into the parables, and then you'll be able to figure out a lot of the parables, or I'm going through them, so I'm telling you pretty much the answers I've been given. So when I get down to here, let's see. And this text doesn't need to be here. Just the seeds on the road. It was beside the road, but if they're on the road or right beside the road where it might be muddy, but the road is what's not growing grass pretty much. It's the rocky area or the sand. So those are easy to be seen and understood, but when it comes to here, Jesus explaining to them that for those that don't like hearing his words, or don't want to pay attention to these words that are plainly and easily seen by people, but Satan immediately comes and takes away my words from them, pretty much. So that should be pretty simple and easy to understand. And this, which has been sown, this would have been in them, but which has been sown in them, this is just not needed. Doesn't need to have this here either. If you read this while I'm talking, you can understand that the words that I'm removing or adding here, you get to see what I've changed. And when you read this down here, you'll see that it's easier to understand and easier to realize what Jesus is saying. Because sown in rocky places, well, this is not what Jesus was. Sower, when the land is talked about rocky, I know that when they clean the fields, they go pick up the rocks and they throw them off to the side. So you'd see a lot of those rocks along the edge and they still do it today, to clean the field up. And a lot of them used to make stone walls from them. So this rocky place really needs to be rocky land to define what Jesus is saying. Not places, but rocky land. And there is places on earth that it's just a rocky base, but I'm thinking of Jesus explaining to them on their terms of their understanding of the land that they exist on in the promised land. And it was hilly, grassy, very fruitful with many uh, different trees that had fruits. Land had wheat, barley, other things growing. So when they heard my words, they immediately, or they received them with joy. Okay. When sown on rocky land. Now this uh, here that they rocky land, he's trying to describe from the last one was maybe in the road was dirt, and the dirt could have covered some as people walked by and covered up. But here they're going to be plainly on rocky land that when they see them, and they'll receive them with joy. Um, Here, this text here is not needed because the story continues that when a persecution arises, they fall away from me. Because of the word, immediately they fall away from me. All this double extra words aren't needed to complete this sentence to be very truthful. Just like this here, others and the ones in whom seeds are sown among the thorns. I'm just trying to add in those words here that I've got as Tisdale replaced them. I'm trying to get rid of copyright laws, and if you change enough words in a Bible that you can use the text. So this is what I'm just doing. I changed it enough that I believe that I should not be in trouble with copyright laws. But it's his seeds, my seeds, sown among the thorns, heard my words. Okay, now it's going to be described about the thorns. And if you haven't seen a field with thorns, or they have a large base at the bottom and then a stalk comes up. So then it branches out, but it's awfully hard to see down in here. They are worried for their riches and desires. This is their world. That doesn't need to be there. They're more or less it's material. So it's riches and desires, and choke off my words. When Jesus is talking about thorny words, that means that he's directingly saying that you shouldn't, just like he's saying here, riches and desires. You shouldn't be going after those. You should be going after obeying our Creator and obeying Jesus. But it's because of their riches when they hear this against them, it's choking off his words. Pretty much we know the intent of the words being said are going to be about groups of people and how his words are appearing to them. My seeds sown on good land, not soil, good land, are my words accepted by mine. That means that those of you who came to our Creator and accepted him as the creator of all things, and you start honoring and respecting our Creator, that he will send you to Jesus. That's the path you have to take first before you come to Jesus. So those that our Creator sends you to Jesus, you'll hear these and say, yes, that's the continuing promises I've learned from our Creator in the Hebrew text. So, but now it says some will bear 30, 60, and 100-fold. This is pretty much not needed. We know that Each person is different. We know that our Creator, as long as you've accepted Jesus, you first have to accept our Creator, and you can enter into heaven, I'm pretty sure, because compassion and mercies allow you to enter into heaven. But if you want to be more righteous and more obedient, as you get closer to our Creator, you have to start um, living up to what He's given you. And the more you do, the more you increase in your knowledge. And then this way, when it says to bear fruit 30, 60, and fold, this is talking about those going out and teaching and stuff like that. But the point of his proverb here, these words aren't needed because they're talking about different types of words being heard by different types of people. A lot of words here are not needed. Um, like like a lamp, I come to give light for them to know me. All this stuff that you read here is just not needed. By saying to them, a lamp is not brought to be put under a peck measure. Excuse me. We know a lamp is not able to be taken out. A lamp, everybody knows that a lamp is something that's got heat. It's oil. It's giving light off. So the object is you're not going to do this or put it under a bed and not be brought out under a bed. It not brought to be put. Is it not brought to be put on a lampstand? I just feel that all this text is not needed to say what's being said here. Here it's talking about nothing hidden except be revealed, nor has anything been secret that it should come. I just wanted to know if that's what I added here. I should have opened up that text earlier. These are the two verses that I'm working on. And when you read what's being read here, and he was saying to them, but see, he was already talking. So here they're just trying to add text to the words to say that they took it from another story to be brought to this one. But if I'm editing, I know that I don't need this. Okay. A lamp is not brought to be put under a peck measure. That is something simple everybody knows about. Let's see, I can get rid of this. It is or under a bed. That is, and that's like he's asked that question, like they're that stupid. is it not brought to be put on the lampstand? Actually, a lamp is already lit. If it's not lit, why would you put it on a lampstand and needing it to give off light? You're carrying it around, and you know that when you set it down, you can set it on a table or anything else. So this doesn't make sense to put it on a lampstand. Now, yes, a lampstand would be something higher up that gives light to more of an area, depending where the lamp is placed. But the object here is a lamp is something that's just brought out because you're to be revealing what's in the darkness to you. So all this stuff is not really needed when you understand that we're talking about for nothing is hidden. Is a lamp is not brought to be. A lamp is brought to be to reveal, okay? A lamp is brought to reveal, or has anything been in secret, but it should come to light. Because Jesus is referring to his words here, and that's what I'm using as the continuing of the story here, Jesus is referring to himself as the lamp. So this text needs to say that all the things that our Creator has been telling people or his people since the time of Noah, that this here is, he is the answer. He is the light for them. And like a lamp, I come, okay? Like a lamp, I come to give light. Now, right there, I could have quit right there, okay? But for them to know me, that's what Jesus is doing. He's coming out to tell them that who he is and teach all the things that, example, today if people click on my any of these videos, the first thing they do is reject it because they can't see or understand that the text is corrupt. They've been taught since childhood that every word in the Bible is true. But what when I do point out errors or these mistakes that are in the Bible, people start getting nervous. But here, if you see that the intent here is to always speak about Jesus, every text should be referring about Jesus. It's his teaching, it's his gospel, to understand that we are to understand that he is our King in heaven. So when you go search for these words, you'll find this in John, when it talks about Jesus came from his light, then we know our Creator is a being of light, okay? If you look at Genesis, how can he see anything if he isn't a being of light? So he knows where he's at, what he is creating, and things like this. So this is kind of covered up, but when you realize that the text is saying that Jesus came from his light, then you go through and start understanding that when you go look for the word light, you'll see that all these tie into each other, that now Jesus's words on earth are our light, as well as our Creator's words are our light. So, because these are not the things about Jesus are not hidden in secret or revealed or have been revealed, nor has anything been secret. Um, our Creator has always said these things, but what He has done is added on to His promises, and His promises are things, or are the words that we should follow and listen to. And once you understand His promises, all the other text has to agree with His promises. I hope I'm uh, getting the point away by making the point that by throwing crap out that you say, oh, it shouldn't be used. It's just right here. I mean, right here is what is the truth of this sentence. Um, when people try to explain all this, they're saying the same thing here. So let's just get on with it and say, hey, those words are what's true. And this is just going on to another teaching. Your standard of measure will be the measure of you. When Jesus says more will be given to you besides, that's not true. Jesus is talking about your reward is equal to everybody's else reward that you're entering heaven. Once you get there, you made it. There's no more of a reward for you as that you can attain from your life on earth. So Jesus would not even say more will be given you. And then this word besides is just hanging out there nowhere. Whoever has him more will be given. Yeah, these are, what he has will be taken from him. Jesus is not speaking earthly until he speaks about his kingdom in heaven. So in here, this text here is like a male casting seeds upon the land and going to bed at night and gets up the day and his seeds sprout up and grows, and how he tells himself does not know the soil crops produce crops. Let's see. His seeds sprout up and grow. How he himself does not know. That would have been true a long time ago, but it is a question of how things are made for us on this earth. So the soil produce crops itself first. Like they're saying, it opens up and there's this little blade from the seed, and then the head matures grain. Okay, now here he's only talking about wheat, or I would say more of wheat than he is other barley and I don't know. I think fennel and stuff. No, fennel seeds. Yeah, there's fennel seeds, but I think those are the flowers. The seeds come from a flower, but this really just doesn't matter. I mean, it's saying things that aren't really needed. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there that this is not needed at all. This is just because if you say it's my kingdom from YV is like a male casting seed upon the soil, but it's not. You're disregarding everything our Creator done in the Hebrew text. He's saying our Creator is like a male who casts seeds upon the soil, and then he goes to bed. And he doesn't. Our Creator is. He is not Alpha. He is not Omega. He's not the beginning. He's not the end. He is. Okay. It's just um, these extra words being put on are just not true. He exists. He is. So he would not be going to bed at night and then kind of wonders about what he's been sowing. So to me, this doesn't make enough sense to where if I went and tried to correct all this text, I thought it was a waste of time. But I do need to keep the words, the standard of measure will be the measure of you. How you live your life and how you gauge your life and how you uh, are around others. Do you get in a group and, well, let's put it this way, do you go to, say, a gathering and, yes, I tell everybody that, yes, I believe our Creator exists and I follow him, and then turn around and then do things that are counter to what our Creator told you to obey. So this is what he's saying is this, you're not hidden by any wall. Our Creator gets to see you at all times. So, I think I might have overtalked the last one, but when I'm cutting out a lot of verses like that, it's just truly not needed, or the text just takes too much to correct to, and then I'm making it my own words. I'd rather just throw them out than try to make it my words to say that that's what it needs to be. Because otherwise I'd have to be correcting every one of these that don't make sense. I get rid of them, and yet I keep the answer or the words here, and they're more truthful than what you see up here that I work on. My kingdom from heaven, or what parable we present. Who are we? Okay, this is, will we present? Where is Jesus coming from that he would say we will present? And I'm thinking I'm going to take a snapshot of that one just so I keep that verse to make sure that I've got, because when people say there's a Trinity here, this would be a good one to point out to them. Who is the we that present? What parable will we present? Anyways, is my kingdom from Livy is like a mustard seed. Although it is smaller than all seeds, yet when it grows up, that's sowing and growing. But when it grows up, it becomes larger than any garden plant. And then it forms its branches. So when it grows up, it has branches. So that's easily getting rid of all that. For the birds to nest, birds of the air can nest. And then under its shade, this is really not needed. When it grows up, its branches, it has branches for birds to nest. Plain and simple. It's, well, you should already understand that I'm getting rid of the extra junk that's not needed. Well, here's where Jesus is talking about, or the person that's talking, that many were able to understand him, because just like what he said, those that are his, those that were following him and watching his miracles and or watching his healings and listening to his teaching, they all understood. Those that truly believed in our Creator, because the other ones were not to hear him at this time. Our Creator's already decided that they aren't going to enter into this heaven. So it comes down to this, that way he taught, some did hear. So, uh, and then he would explain everything to his disciples. Doesn't need to be privately. He wasn't ashamed not to say if a few people were around with his disciples. Um, okay, now this is almost like two different stories. Like, should it be broke here to say that this is going to start another? Oops. Yes, where is that? Where is this verse? I got 34 and I don't have 35. Huh. Okay. That's a big mistake. Um, I didn't, boy, that's pretty bad. See, I would have thrown that text out completely, and then years later, people would have really complained that, look at that, he just threw that out. He was working too fast. He is doing this. He was trying, yeah, he's a loser. Sorry, folks. Uh, this seems to be um, telling another story like this. So let's see, how can I note this to myself? Well, I guess the thing here is I think I made too many mistakes, and I'm not going to edit or Mark going forward. In Matthew, there was a lot of times that I'd done so much of the text ahead of time that I didn't want to go and correct every word forward. So I was making notes and then going and adding them to the future text that they would see. I'm know that I have all of them done, excuse me. And I even have them all combined already. But the object here is here I'd have to check all the text to see if this verse was there. So as I'm going through them and correcting them, I'm going to example, take all the, I'll save all this text and throw out the rest, and then I will read through it and group them and use that text as the next one instead of what I've got, because it's too important for me not to miss one like that. I might have done that in others, and I kind of hopefully I did check a lot of that in Matthew. So um and this is what, now remember, they're going to go to the other side of the lake. Um, let me see here. Whoops. Get rid of that. It seems when I click on that, it wasn't doing that in the other, like Windows is doing something different than it is now, or on my old computer, and I had a real old one. So it was probably 5 years old. Um, where are maps? Okay, there we go. Um, so here is the map that I think we're at this point here, that we're going to go this way. Now, the red line means that he gathered all the disciples at this point here. And this was the last place that I found that he was traveling before he started traveling to Jerusalem. So this new brown line or greenish line is the new text to say, okay, he's heading back. So this is to the other side of Galilee from over here. And that's because no, it's not going to be seen up here real easily, but up here you can see they're different territories. So when there's talking about going to the other side, this is where Jesus is talking about. And he left the crowd and they took a boat. See this double wording, double thing, even when I'm reading it now, why is that even there? They took him along with them. Jesus is the one in control here. Jesus one, let's go with the other one. And they took a boat. Other boats were with him. Now let me just throw it out there right now because I'm going to talk about it later. I might end up changing one boat to two boats when they're doing this. These boats that they're using for fishermen are not a commercial fishing boats. They aren't like what we've got today. This is only a 10-mile round lake, maybe. Yes, they can have a lot of waves can get really bad when it gets out there, especially if it's going from north to south. Yes, 10 miles, even though it's a slight breeze, it could get very large at the end of the ending of the lake in that direction. But they might have got into two boats, okay? I just don't see these boats being big enough for 13 men to be in one boat. It doesn't make sense later. Now, saying that, it says other boats were with him. Now, see, I could have got rid of this one, just said boats. And they took boats, okay? And here it is that it's possibly meaning that there was two boats that they took. They've corrupted the text so much, we have to think logically what's going on here. And then arose a fierce, gale wind, actually a strong wind. Now, I grew up on a lake, so when the wind is coming from here over to here, there's no galing. There's going to be some white caps because maybe a mile and a half in here. Even a strong wind, that doesn't really mean that it's going to be extreme white caps, okay? If it's coming from this direction or this direction, yeah, by the time it gets down here or here, those are going to be some 3 foot, 4 foot wave. But in here, they would have to be, if you're saying that it's fierce winds, why would they want to, why would Jesus even suggest that them to take a boat, especially with him? They took a boat. Oh, let's see. Okay, is he on the boat with them? Oh, he was asleep. Okay, sorry. I got the stories mixed up. It's this one here going back this way. So when talking the other side, it's talking to this side. Jesus glides over the water here on the back side of the story. So this story here of Jesus gliding on the water, not walking on the water, but gliding over the water, this is the story coming back this way. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was the first time that they were going to cross. So now that because that means all this teaching would have been over there after he landed, and I don't see the text saying that. I still see the text saying he's up in Capernaum. But now that this story pops up, this has to be the one going across. So a strong wind would have, in the middle of the lake, would have got severe. But if a fierce wind was going on, I don't think Jesus would have been able to fall asleep. Okay. So there then rose a strong wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat. Now, that means breaking over the boat has to come. The point of the boat has to go into the waves. Otherwise, the boat rocks back and forth, can be easily flipped. Anytime you're in a boat and you got waves, you know that your boat has to at least be into that breaking of the waves first, because if it catches on its side, you can't get the boat back in to make to keep your boat from rocking and you tipping over. Okay, I'm going too long here. I'm going to start all this over. So whatever I was saying here about this right now, I'm going to probably change it because this might be 3-4 hours before I come back and do one of these. So I just want to put it to you right now. I'm trying to keep these videos down because they're 1440p's, and anyway, sorry about that. I should check the time.